In this video, I want to show you how I get clients with cold outreach, step by step, and from my own experience over the past 12 months. So let's dive into it. I'm refreshing my Go High Level agency account to show you the monthly recurring revenue, just to show you this is actually working for me. This is not some baloney. This is my experience from the past 12 or so months. We've been averaging about 4 new customers a month and trying to do a good service. And in the end of the video, stick to the end, I'll show you a bit of a hack with warm outreach that's gonna exponentially grow from the cold outreach that we're gonna talk about. So let's dive into the cold outreach strategies. To understand cold outreach a bit better, I wanted to bring up Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Leads, where he talks about the 4 different ways of outreach. And I took a little screenshot here, the core 4, the 4 different ways you can reach new people to buy from you. And so there's one-to-one and there's one-to-public, or one-to-many, how we like to say it. And we're currently talking about, this video is about cold outreach. So it's one-to-one, this is private, and this is how you can get clients very quickly and very efficiently. And so that's what this video is about, is cold outreach. And at the end of the video, stick to the end, this is gonna be a little bit warm outreach. So it's just so much more powerful, but it's still one-to-one private, and you can get 50 clients like that, no problem. I've done it. And so this actually works. The start of cold outreach, you should have an offer together. I just took a screenshot here of one of my clients in Switzerland, and the offer needs to be dialed in. In my case, the offer was a website for free, or for a low ticket one-time setup, and Google reviews. Either one, both of them together. That was my offer in the beginning. And so I show you this website. This is a typical website that I built. It's working really well. It's a low cost, low churn offer. And as I was getting better, I was starting to charge setup fees with my cold outreach. This depends on where you're at in your journey, but I do recommend charging a setup fee for your initial cost and work. This is a Google review service that we're doing. Basically, we're getting clients Google reviews in, and that really helps their ranking and getting more business. We use a software called Go High Level to do websites, and we do Google review services. But that was my offer. This is how it all started. This is a little screenshot of my current offer. It's more complicated. If you want more, just comment below and I can send it to you. But this is my current strategy and stuff. In terms of sales tips, before we start into a list, just be sold on your service. Sell the next step, and talking about dating relationships. So what I mean by that is, when you're reaching out to people that don't know you, you want to have a targeted list, and you want to reach out to that list selling the next step, which is a meeting. It's whether it be a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting. These are the best tips I have. Be sold on your service. So build websites as long as you need to be confident enough to call someone and say, hey, I built you a website. If you want it, you can have it. Is that something you're even interested in? And so be sold on your service first. Get some Google review case studies for free if you need to. That's my best sales tip. Just get sold on yourself, get sold on your business, get sold on your service, and sell the next steps. Just to go in more detail, what I mean by selling the next step in terms of comparing it to a dating relationship, if you think about going on a date with a girl, and the very first thing you say is, would you want to marry me? That would not go well for you. And I don't have to tell you that, you probably know that. But so many people are trying to build a business, and they're trying to do you want to marry me in business? And ask that question right away with business owners on the phone when they're trying to set appointments, or in an appointment when they're trying to sell the service. What I mean by selling the next step is, if you're on the phone, sell the freaking appointment. Don't sell anything else but the appointment. And if you're in person, don't try to sell them on all the upsells and in the future. Just get into the next step. That's how you do it. And I love the analogy with the dating relationship, because a successful dating relationship usually takes time, and it usually takes it step by step. And again, there's those unicorns out there that are like, would you want to marry me? And they get married, but that's not the norm. And so if you're in business and you want to try and sell people, sell the next step. Sell the appointment on the phone, and then when you're in person, maybe it's not even the sale in that meeting, but sell the next meeting. Have a discovery call, and then from the discovery call, go to the sales call. But sell the next step. You're going to see your conversion skyrocket if you keep that in mind when you're setting meetings on the phone, or your in-person meeting or Zoom meetings sell the next step is what I'm trying to say. This is actually a list of people that I had someone together on Fiverr. They found the business owner's name for me. I did the phone number verification. So if they wouldn't, we can go do a whole video on cold calling, which is coming soon. But you need to have a targeted list of potential prospects that could possibly use your service. And this list was in the city that I'm in. I went local, and I pre-built websites for these people, and I offered free Google reviews. And I just called and called and called, and I took notes here on my calls here, and different callers mean different things, but a targeted list with the business owner's name and with the phone number of the business. That's how I started reaching out to people. And again, when I called these people, I didn't try and sell them the service. I just tried to get them I tried getting in front of them, whether it be 5 minutes in person or a Zoom call. That's so important. Again, warm outreach is a lot easier once you have you're established a little bit and you have some case studies, but more on that later in the video. When I call these people and I booked an appointment with them, I used my software, Go High Level here, my version of it, and I put them into pipelines. And I kind of, this is actually a current screenshot of how much money is in my pipeline. These are all monthly recurring revenues. So if you think about, just selling a percentage of that every day, and this is, every day we're putting new people in here. Doesn't seem like big numbers, but if you don't lose clients and if you have a sticky service, this can add up and create a beautiful business for you, and super passionate about it. So when you're in person and you're trying to sell people, I brought the hamburger. I have never seen anyone talk about this online on YouTube, and I spent a lot of time learning from YouTube. This is a tool that I learned from my previous boss. Thank you, Thomas. And it's worked really well for in-person meetings. So again, you want to get the list, you want to get these people in a meeting, show them your offer, and this is how the meeting is going to go. This is how you're going to sell way more people in person. And so my background before I started my agency was selling tools to people. So I have, multiple thousand, about 4,000 in-person meetings going with this framework of the hamburger that I'm going to tell you about. And what that has allowed me is when I started my own agency selling websites and Google reviews, I needed very, very, very few meetings to get my first 10 clients. I was thinking I probably needed 15 meetings to get 10 clients. And that's just because I had a ton of experience with this concept. And then, if they're filtered out properly, if the list is quality, and then if the people actually show up, or, you show up on those meetings, it can be just beautiful what can be done quickly if you understand this concept. I also want to say I went local. I went local, low ticket. That way I meet people in person, and few Zoom calls, but in person was just, if I can meet them in person, it's really hard to beat with a video call. And here are the steps. So basically we're going from top to bottom of that hamburger. And this is how we, spend our time meeting with that potential client. This is a timeline here. I made these 4 lines, and you can see the actual meat of the hamburger, which is, so to give you some context, the hamburger to me is about the meat. And the actual meat of the hamburger is only a very short timeline here compared to the whole meeting. So what that means is you don't want to spend crazy amounts of time on your solution and how great you are, but you want to spend a lot of time talking about the prospect and his problems and his challenges. We're starting with the meeting from top to bottom, and the first part is the first piece of bread here, and it's basically connecting with the client. This might be different for other people, but this has worked really well for me. So I connect with the client, I find something I can complement on the client's business, and we're diving into pain points. It's again all about the client. It's all about what they're doing, their challenges, their issues, their desires. It's not about you and your service. So the hamburger comes, and again, you get to the lettuce, to tomato, and the cheese, which they're essential parts for the hamburger, but if the meat's not there, so it doesn't matter. And the cheese and the lettuce could be diving deeper into their main challenges, basically spicing up the whole burger. The challenges. That's what makes the hamburger good. Your solution is only valuable if you can solve a pain point. And I don't know if this analogy works as well as I thought it would, but this is what I'm thinking about when I'm meeting with a person is I want to get through this slow and steady. I want to spend my time connecting with the prospect. I want to hear about their problems. I want to hear about their challenges. I want to hear about what they want to accomplish. And again, based on my research before I meet with a client, I know that my solution is going to work for them. But I want to hear them talk about their own problems. And here's something that has really, really worked well. I want them to sell themselves on the process. And a question that I have asked for my clients a lot is from 1 to 10, where would you think your Google reviews or your website is currently at? 1 being really bad and 10 is like you have the best website in your area, in your niche, in your industry. Where are you currently at? And what that allows them to do is they rate themselves. Basically, they're telling you how crappy they're currently situated, like where they're at. Like if they're telling you they're a 2 on their website, that basically gives you the opportunity to say, like, where would you like to be? And they were like, oh, I would love to be an 8 or 9 or 10, and that will allow you to then present your offer in a whole different way because they sold themselves. They basically told you their stuff sucks, and that you can only ask that question after some connecting. You can only ask that question after finding out what their challenges are. I hope this all makes sense. Please don't just jump to the meat. Don't just go straight into the pitch. You will not close clients if you do that. And I don't mind spending 5 extra minutes in the beginning of a meeting personally to be able to build that rapport and find out about their people. People buy from people. It's not just like slap them with a product, but find out about their challenges. Most business owners are really passionate about what they do. That's because they're business owners. And so, honor that, value that. Please find out the first name of the business owner before you cold call them, because it's out there. You just have to look for it. If you're wasting that person's time on the phone without knowing their name, then don't do it. I think you owe it to them, and that's just my point. And then again, the meat solution. Don't even talk about the features of your service. Don't talk about how you're going to get those reviews. Just tell them we're going to have the reviews on there, and the benefit of the reviews is getting more traffic, more calls. Talk benefits, not features. And then the last part of the hamburger, very important part to me personally. When I used to do these sales meetings, door knocking, and selling tools, would always end the order when they signed with a gift, with a little something, in my case here with selling websites, the positive onboarding experience, giving them a small gift, helping them, with a small problem right then and there. Let's say their Google business profile has not been verified, and you're meeting with them, they want more Google reviews. If you can verify that profile right then and there with the phone call, which happens so many times in my case, you can provide value, you can leave on a positive note, and just super, super sticky. I also recommend you charge the client right here. You get a setup fee, you get their credit card info. And the way I do this, and again, we're gonna do a whole video on just a sales meeting, but the way you do this is I like to say, okay, let's open up your account. Let's take a few details on your business so I can build everything on the back end once I get back to my office, or once we get off the call, if it's a Zoom call. And you open up the account, you ask for their name, their business name, all the data you need, and then you say, and what's the credit card or the debit card you want to put on file? There's no charge. I just want to set up the account properly. And they're a bit hesitant. Some people even might ask, why credit card? And you're like, it's just the way we do the business. That's how we set up the account. It's going to go so much smoother if you focus on the first part of the hamburger. It's going to be so much easier to ask that question and have that conversation if there's some rapport and some compliment or some challenges that we're able to share with you. Like, people feel so heard if you can just listen to them. Everybody needs someone that listens to them. So this is my advice: charge or put the credit card on file right there. In our specific case with the offer right now, we charge a setup fee in that onboarding on that meeting right on the call, and we're not getting off the call before that money is charged. That's not a sale. If they're telling you, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, but they're not willing to give you a credit card, then they're not ready, pretty much. So that's the Zoom or in-person meeting. By the way, feel free to ask questions and comment down below in the video. And now to the last part of the video, the warm outreach. I mentioned it multiple times, but I took a screenshot of the growth rate of my high-level agency account, like I showed you in the beginning. And this basically showed you in June or July, we had 7 new customers. And I don't know, the MRR is this line. So we had 7 new customers. This dark blue line is how many customers we're getting every month. And I've had 3 customers, July, August, September. In October, we've had 4. But we had 7 in June because we did so much cold outreach, and that was just onboarding 7 people into like the system and setting everything up. It's a lot of work for a one-man show with a few contractors. So what we did is we basically went back into getting everything dialed in and not doing as much outreach and just organically get 1 or 2 customers a month fulfilling. But the warm outreach is starting to happen again, and what that means is we're calling up our existing customers, and what we do is we ask how things are going. We ask, we check in with the client, ask if there's anything that needs to be done, if they want an update on their website, if they have more data that we need to put in the system. We ask if they're facing any challenges with the mobile app, and just genuinely try to provide value. So if Go High Level, the software that I'm using to fulfill all these services, if they have an update that is relevant to my client, I'm going to tell that update on the phone. And that's once a month. It's going to take me like 4 hours, one morning to reach all my clients via phone and give them an update on what's happening. And that's just eliminating churn. No one's going to leave if they get a phone call once a month for this specific service. And it's not just, giving an update and lowering churn, but you're also asking for referral, especially the clients that are getting crazy results. And it's happened multiple times where, a client is so happy with getting all these Google reviews, they're giving me 5 business names of that are their friends and tell you to call them in their name, or they do a 3-way intro via text. And you basically do everything you've done here, but with a client referral. Like, the warm outreach is nothing but rinse and repeat of all of this. You make a list, or you put them in your CRM. Every time you reach out to an existing client, and you rinse and repeat, you meet with these people in person, you talk about, the services that you could do for them, and before you do that, ask them about their challenges and problems. And if you have an existing client, referring them, to them, that it makes it so much easier. And that's what we're doing right now, is just referrals and reaching out to existing clients, making sure we're providing killer service, and naturally they want to give us their friends' names and be like, hey, call my friend Buddy, he's doing this kinds of stuff and he needs reviews too. I've been telling him about you, give him a call. Happens so many times. And this is what I want to end with. Just focus on delivering value, focus on, the cold outreach is great, but once you have these 10 first clients, just get killer results, build an amazing product. And $100 million offers or $100 million leads always talks about that. Before you go crazy promoting yourself and your business, make sure your product is solid and provide more value than you charge. So that's what I have for this video. If you got questions, let me know in the comments. If you want to use the software that I use, shoot me a DM or comment down below, and I'll help you get set up. Hop on a call with you. This is pretty cool. And again, think about what it could do for your business. You just build such a cool business with that. So see you guys in the next video.